everybody, Coach Sara is here with you today to show you the proper way to perform a lunge. This is really important because I feel like sometimes people don't realize that they're making a few mistakes that could lead to injury over time. So it's important that you follow these tips, and it's okay if you need to regress and do your lunges maybe a little bit differently than the way you've done them in the past. And also, after today's video, when you're in the center, feel free to ask one of the staff members to watch you while you're doing your lunges, and we can let you know if we notice anything that we might need to tweak to make the movement more efficient. So I'm just going to get started by showing you what a typical lunge should look like, and then we're going to walk through how to set up your body to prevent injury. And then if we need to regress it a little bit, what you can do. And then if you're ready to progress it to make it harder, I will show you some of those as well. So a typical lunge is performed by alternating your legs, just like this, okay? So, some common mistakes that we typically notice on people is a forward lean when they do their lunges. So sometimes you see people do this, okay? So forward lean is a big mistake. People probably don't even realize that they're doing it. If you've never watched yourself in a mirror, you may just not know, okay? And then another thing that is pretty common is to take too big of a step, okay? That gets an excessive stretch right here on your leg, and it's just poor form that can lead to injury. So, to set yourself up for a proper lunge, the first thing you're going to do, pack those shoulders. So it's going to feel like you're putting your shoulders in your back pockets. It's not so much of a shoulders back, chest forward. It's just more of a down and back, really secure movement. Okay, the next thing you're going to focus on is going to be your pelvis. So we've been talking a lot through everything that we've been doing about having a neutral pelvis. So you want to make sure that you're not excessively doing a posterior or anterior tilt. So you want to find a neutral position and maintain that once you start your movement, okay? And you want to keep your body upright once you start moving. So again, it's a good idea to practice these in front of a mirror. That's why we do have the mirrors in the gym, to make sure your form is good. Okay, so a couple of ways to kind of take a step back from doing them that way is to do a split squat. So sometimes people call these stationary lunges, but split squat is also the term for it. So this is where you don't alternate your legs. So if you notice you're having trouble keeping your body upright, you've got that forward lean going on, try it this way. You're going to get into a split position here. You're going to be up on your toes, on your back foot, and when you go down, we're looking for 90 degrees at this knee, same thing back here. So you can practice this way. Watch yourself in the mirror. If you've got a little bit of this going on, just lean back some, like so. And then you can practice on the other leg as well, okay? Sometimes people have knee issues. So don't feel like you have to take that back leg down quite as far. If you want to do just like a quarter lunge with that, you can do that. So just go into here. If this is pain-free, but this causes pain, don't go that low. So there's still lots of benefits doing them this way, okay? Balance is another thing. So it takes some time to get used to doing lunges where you don't feel wobbly. So if you want to do the split squat version of it with a hand on a wall or holding onto a table, that is completely fine. You're better off to do that than to do a regular lunge and risk tweaking something or stumbling and falling. Okay, so that's another way to regress. One more way to take it back a notch is to do a reverse lunge. So when we do a forward lunge, all that weight is going on this knee right here, and that can be difficult for people that have knee issues. So if you want want to try reverse lunge, it's a lot less impact, stepping back. You just have to remember, you still want your good form, but it's a little less on the knees. Great. Okay, so progressions. So if you've mastered an alternating lunge with great form, that's when you can start doing walking lunges, which is very popular, and it's exactly what it sounds like. This right here. Just making sure that you don't have that forward lean, so you don't want this to happen. You got to stay upright, like so. The next way that you can progress is to do a forward to reverse lunge. This requires a lot more balance, and it's important not to rush through it, okay? So, we're gonna start out going forward with the same leg, take it to the back. So forward and reverse. So you see how I'm tapping my foot on the ground in between each one? So if you need to do that for added stabilization, you can. One other thing to point out is to make sure with all of your lunges, no matter what type you're doing, that the front leg, that knee, doesn't shoot over your toes. So in the beginning I mentioned 90 degrees, okay? So you don't want this to happen. You want to keep it back. Make sure that knee is in good alignment. And then one other way to progress the lunge is to add weight. So, if you've mastered everything else and your form is beautiful, that's when you can add weight. It's really important that you don't do that until everything else is perfect, okay? Risk of injury. So, one thing to point out, and something that we see a lot when people do lunges with weight, is they let their arms swing. So it's really important to keep these weights stable at your sides, okay? So any kind of swinging like this, no good. Keep it stable. Here's a common thing that I see people do with walking lunges. So this will drag your body forward, so you got to keep them locked in at your side, okay? Nice and stable. Awesome. Okay, so I hope that you've learned a little bit today from our how-to, perfecting the lunge. And if you do have questions or you want us to check your form the next time you're in here, feel free to ask. We would love to do that for you. Bye-bye.